Hey guys, we're back with another episode of our Sryth Fantasy Text-Based RPG. Like I was mentioning last episode, we are coming on daily to come across the Crimson Helmed Rider daily because I got that note on one of my videos a couple videos ago. So we're here to do that and then do some adventures. We'll do some recordings ahead of time, and that'll be good to get some ahead of time recordings because I've been behind. So thanks so much for hanging out and joining me. Let's just go. So yeah, we're in Southern Tisa at Longspur Downs. And so we're here to do the Crimson Rider. I'm not gonna reread it, but I'm gonna cast the stones. That's a 5. That's a good. Let's get some 6s. Okay, 4. What about a 6? Another 5. All right. Tally 14, roars the rider. There's more to the numbers than you might ever guess. This is not sport. And now let me bestow upon you that which fortune has seen fit to provide you with. The rider draws his axe and extends it towards you, gently touching the top of your head with the flat of its broad blade. Almost immediately, a strange euphoric sensation washes over you. The Crimson Helm Rider slowly withdraws his axe from the top of your head, and the euphoria sensation fades. Perhaps someday our paths will cross, to the rider. His deep, resonating voice fading to silence as he turns his head and urges his horses forward into the nearby hills. Suddenly, the Helm Rider takes hold of the ogre, head dangling from the leather strap hanging down from his undead mount's left flank. He snaps the gruesome trophy from the strap and hurls it back in your direction. The head strikes the ground only a few yards from you, and almost immediately a faint tremor runs beneath your feet. A deafening bellow rises into the air as the earth in front of you quivers and explodes, showering you with dirt and rocks. As the hideous skeletal remains of the armored ogre tears up to the solid ground at your feet, you stumble backwards, managing to maintain your balance as a fearsome undead creature leaps after you. The rider's laugh reaches your ears only moments before it is drowned out by the deafening roar of the raging skeletal beast. Owing to the speed of the fiend you face, you will not be able to flee. You must fight this nightmarish undead menace to the death. To the bride, to the bride, to the groom. Look, my hair looks nice. It does a little bit. I just got it done, so this is the only time it's gonna look good. Quick combat. Yeah. Your skeletal flow collapses in the heap of splintered bone at your feet. Stepping away from the remains of the undead creature, you cast your gaze in the direction in which the Crimson Helm Rider departed, but see no sign of him. Puzzled by the rider's decision to set this vicious undead creature against you upon his departure, you are nonetheless thankful to still be alive. With your mind still churning over the details of the strange encounter, you turn and set off to other downs. Yep. Okay, so we were doing northeast, and we were in Ebmark. But there is an adventure here nowadays, so let's save, as we've done our Crimson Rider, and let's hit up an adventure for this episode. The Prisoner of Thal-Breyek. One of the 3 men, a fisherman named Hobmere, continues to relate the account that initially drew your attention. You listen intently as he describes an encounter he had with 3 other creatures near Hawkrest Island only 4 days ago. Embark. While relaxing in Beast's Den, you have settled into a relatively quiet corner of the tavern's bustling common room. Your interest is piqued when you overhear several men making mention of a Tzarl. The men seem initially surprised when you approach to ask to join them, but they quickly welcome you by fetching a chair and setting you up with a frothing flagon. One of the 3 men, a fisherman named Hobmere, continues to relate the account that initially drew your attention. You listen instantly as he describes the encounter he had with 3 Tzarl. The T's probably silent, but it is what it is. Near Hawkrest Island only 4 days ago. Hobmere says that he's heading back to the dock after a long day out on the lake when he swung past the western shore of Hawkrest Island. One of the men from his crew, a lad named Elmidin, cried out in alarm and pointed out the trio of red-scaled reptilians making their way along one of the isle's steep banks. Of course, they had an eyeful of us and slid off into the woods, he said, shrugging. Fine with me. I'd prefer not to be tangled up with anything like that. I wonder what they're up to. I don't know that anyone wants to go poking around on that island to find out. Well, maybe you would. What island? Oh, Hawkrest. Yeah, I've been to Hawkrest. Hobmere and the others seem to be waiting for you to give some sort of response to what the fisherman has just said. Before you afforded the chance to do just that, the tavern door burst open and boisterous crew of 4, well known to Hartman, moving to claim the spot somewhere in the vicinity of the dense crackling blaze. Use the opportunity to slip away from the table and make your way outside. Standing outside the tavern, in the waning light of the overcast late afternoon, you pore over what you've just learned while speaking with Hobby and his associates. According to the fisherman's tale, he and his crew spotted the Cesaro skulking about on Hawk Rest Island only 4 days ago. Though you've no way to truly ascertain the veracity of this story, you also have no reason to doubt the account. You decide the best course of action and make your way out to the island and investigate yourself. Oh yeah, I remember how to get to Hawk, whatever. Take the boat. Yep. Hawkrest Island, a hilly, thickly forested swath of land, rises out of the center of Lake Abrick. Is larger than you had initially imagined. Though barely visible through any of the lake's jagged shores, the island is truly massive, untamed wilderness that is, at every turn, both beautiful and perilous. Your Selina's sturdy craft, which you've hauled up to the nearby sandy beach, provides you with swift and reliable passage through from Yao. Explore. Previously locations. What I have to explore to find it. I feel good. Need to check across the road. Train, nothing of interest. Do I have to explore? Because I don't know what's western. Jade Fang Ants. The exploration of Hawkrest Island is suddenly interrupted by an encounter with the pair of Jade Fang Ants. Interesting. Nah, you keep that. Exploration. I should have paid close attention about the directions. I never do. Which is a problem. Suddenly, while exploring the eastern side of the island, you spot a lone Cesaro slithering along with the forest only a few dozen yards ahead. Concealed behind the trunk of a stout ash, she watches the red-scaled reptilian, its yellow eyes warily scouring the forest with a surprising speed and grace as it deftly navigates the rugged woodland terrain. Suddenly, the Cesaro alters its course and begins slithering in your direction. Despite the change of direction, you remain confident that the sinister creature has not yet spotted you. In a matter of moments, the Cesaro will pass you on. Let him pass, see where he goes. You remain hidden and watches the Cesaro slithers past, moving steadily west before eventually turning to the north. Despite its obvious vigilance, the reptilian never at once seemed aware of your lurking presence. With your gaze, my hair is sticking and wet up because my scalp's leaking. With your gaze trained on the departed Cesaro, you quickly reason that you could attempt to follow the creature and discover to where it's headed. Yes, let's follow it. When you reasonably set the Cesaro is far enough away, you slip out of your hiding place and begin to stealthily follow the slithering creature. After nearly an hour, you trail the Cesaro as it meanders through the tangled woodland, while maintaining a safe but manageable distance between yourself and the swift, slithering reptilian. At last, in the midst of the bog, on the western side of the island, your dogged stealthy pursuit pays off. There, rising out of the soft muddy earth, are the ruins of a large tower. Only moments after spotting the ruins, you lose sight of the Cesaro. Seems that the sinister creature has disappeared somewhere in among the crumbling shell of the ancient structure. Talking an ancient structure here, eh? Is it okay? You may special note of a fallen tower and may return to it in the future whenever you explore. You're standing in the thick, tangled midst of the bog in the western side of the Hawkrest Island. Less than 30 yards to the north lie the scattered, crumbling ruins of the ancient tower. Only part of the outer wall surrounding the tower's ground level remains standing. The once imposing structure, its size determinable by immense moss-covered blocks now littering the surrounding mire, appears to have been recently frequented by Cesaro. The broad telltale trails left in the soft, wet earth by the sinister reptilian scaled underbellies completely cover the immediate area. Near the center of the ruins, a wide set of steps descends into the lower reaches of the tower. Let's go. We're standing at the bottom of a steep set of steps that leads up and out to the underground portion of the ruined tower. Torches and lamps recently fixed to the walls and in frequent intervals cast their dim flickering light to the patches. In patches, through their glow, it is not enough by which to safely navigate these ancient passages. Suddenly, before you quite had a chance to get your bearings, a trio of armored Tazarl surged out of the shadows, gathering at the edge of your light. The vicious, red-scaled reptilians, each wielding a broad-bladed scimitar, hissed wildly as they slid forward in attacking unison. Yes, let's attack out all at once. Good. You keep your scimitars. Just the scimitars. Thankful to have survived the attack, you make certain nothing else is lingering in the nearby gloom before preparing to begin your exploration of the tower ruins. Wow, this seems long-winded. You're standing at the bottom of a steep set of steps that leads up to the underground portion of the ruined tower. And what you can't see, there's a corner in every way. What's this? Stairs. You're at the top of a set of winding steps that descend to the lower underground level of the ruined tower. Alright, well we definitely want to take a look at every torches and lamps of this wall. Yes. Alright, let's go down then. Alright, what's this? You're on top of a set of winding steps that descend to the lower underground level of the ruined tower. You're started by the sudden appearance of a scimitar-wielding Tazarl several yards ahead. Along the passage, the red-scaled reptilian's gaze immediately falls upon you, and the creature starts in your direction, its sharp hisses echoing out the walls as it rapidly closes in. Keep you to so. Okay, so all these are stairs down. Oh, now this is an engraved ring. Ring of engraved images adorns the floor here. The image depicts a mountain, a sword, a dragon, a shield, a helmet, a star, and a moon. Nothing happens, so we're gonna need all this stuff. You think? Let's copy it. Hit a notepad, mate. Alright. Okay, and this is the way I came down. So let's try the leftmost stair first. Okay, so we're in here. Near stillness, an armored Tazarl. Keep your scimitar. Is there more stairs? There's more stairs. Another sucker. Let's go downstairs. Alright, where's this guy? There's more stairs. Okay, fine. Downstairs. What's this? There's another engraved ring. Oh, did it say something different? No, mountain, sword, shield, a dragon and shield, a helmet, star, and a moon. No, nothing new there. Yes, alright. Come in. Okay, what's this one? More stairs? Yes. Jeez. So these are definitely some ancient ruins with all these stairs. What's this? Okay. A diamond-shaped impression is set in the center of this iron plate fixed with the northern wall in this section of the corridor. Several arcane symbols are engraved. A diamond-shaped impression. Keep that in mind. Alright. And this is the ring, so the only stairs are those going down over here. I'll keep your scimitar. I don't want scimitars. Alright, this way. I always go left first. Don't ask me why. Because right isn't always right. There's another engraved ring. Nothing's going on in this one either. Bruh. I walk 2 feet. Okay, just go downstairs some more. Yes. I mean, how many times can you go downstairs? Is this like a 20 level joint? Alright, let's go then. To reach a dead end. Alright, more stairs. Rogue Tazaro. Oh, not gonna let me fast kill this one, huh? Hey, a square copper medallion. Looking for a diamond shape, not a square. I mean, if you turn the square to the side, it turns into a diamond. But I do want to keep up with what I pick up, so let's put this there. Okay, what's in here? You're standing on what appears to be a cell for holding prisoners. The heavy iron bars that seal off the cell from the corridor outside have long since decayed to ruin. The rusted remnants of the metal barrier lie heaped upon the threshold, and almost in the exact center of the cell, flush on the floor is an engraved square of a dark stone. The carved stone is squarely 2 feet across. Okay. Now, watch your scimitar. Another ring. Oh. If I use it, will something happen? Let's try it. Square copper. Where is it? Oh, it's up here. It's like a neck thing. No special use. Alright, fine. We still have a whole boatload of places to go. Push the lever up. Stone lever protrudes from the vertical slot in the north wall in this section of the corridor. The lever has been pulled down. Nah, I'm not trying to pull levers right now. What's this? Those are the stairs I came in. Alright, let's go the other way. As a massive slab of iron spans the entirety of the passage before you, close inspection of the slab reveals that it must somehow slide into the floor. Small heaps of rusted metal fragments heaped along the base of the slab lead you to believe that the formidable barrier has recently moved. So it's not going to let me through. Alright, then let's try lever. Somewhere nearby you hear the unmistakable sound of stone grating on stone. Hopefully this is open this side of the passage, so we can get up. Nope. Oh, what did I tell you about reaching the dead end? Alright, we're gonna go down the other stair then. Okay, let's try this way down. Face of a man shaped out of a solid stone protrudes from the wall at the end of the corridor. The lifelike eyes carved upon the face, while unmoving, seem to follow you. The stony face bears a stoic expression. The echoing clatter rumble of stone shifting stone fills the air as the expression of the face undergoes a rapid transformation. The face, protruding from the wall, now bears a broad, friendly smile. Okay, so this doesn't lead to stairs. Wow. Rude. So let's go back down there and see if we can get to that way. It's not gonna let me go. Alright, what is the diamond shaped thing? Was it right here? Was that it over here? No. In Mambo Italiano. Alright, you rotate your square cup and medallion, place it into the diamond-shaped impression. From somewhere off in the distance, the sound of pulsing energy reaches your ears. A strange noise swiftly rises in pitch before abruptly falling silent. Okay, I don't know what that means. Can I get past this wall yet? Or what? Maybe it means we can do these things now. I've kept the medallion, but nothing is happening. And I'm going down. Pissing me off. You're standing on what appears to be yourself for holding prisoners. Small, square-shaped impression. The instant you fit the medallion into the impression, the engraved block of stone begins to tremble. After only a few moments, however, the vibration abruptly ceases. As you remove the medallion, step back from the block, a low groan akin to the sound of metal moving across stone echoes from the passage outside the cell. Okay. Please, can we go past this? Yay! The top several inches of the massive iron slab span the entire breadth of the passage before you. The formidable barrier has been lowered to the floor, allowing you to freely move freely through this section of the corridor. There's nothing in here. Series of sharp hisses erupt at the gloom ahead, freezing you mid-step. Quickly gathering your wits, fall back and assume a defensive stance. As 7 scimitar-wielding Tazaro slithered into view, speaking amongst themselves in the harsh tones of the unknown tongue. A sinister reptilian surge swiftly loose up. Bloody corpse! Step forward and meet the slithering advance. 3 of 7. 4 of 7. 5 of 7. 6 of 7. 7 of 7. I'm just saying, if I were the fifth guy in here, we'd be out. It's all the scimitars. We quick search the remains of the slain Cesaro and discover only their scimitars. The deadly blades are apparently the only objects that possession. In the possession of the sinister reptilians, you're no desire to linger here longer. You're standing just to the east of a small cell that separated from the corridor by a line of thick iron bars. There's no gate visible anywhere along the length of the formidable span. A frail, thin figure clad in studded leather armor lies face down in the far corner of the cell. Yo! You step toward the iron bars, a square cup of medallion in possession of selling trembles. Then ice blue energy leap between the bars for several moments before abruptly vanishing. The hooded figure lying in the back of the cell slowly raises its head and turns, looking in a direction. It only skips a beat when you catch sight of the face staring at you from beneath the folds of the bucket holes. It's the emaciated, fur-clad face of a catamaran. Catamaran are nimble, clever, and cruel, and do not tolerate other species except as slaves. They're immune to nearly all non-magical fire and have the ability to ignite themselves at will, making themselves both fearsome and dangerous in the eyes of a would-be foe. Master Catamaran warriors are said to have 9 lives and believed to grow in power with each of their new incarnations. It is believed that the scheming and warlike cats being control vast empires in several countless realms of the Navidus. A ragged gas echoes into the passage as a hooded catamaran slowly draws himself into a seated position against the far wall. The cat-like humanoid, his tattered armor spattered with dried blood, regards you with a cold, calculating gaze that serves to set your nerves on edge. When he suddenly speaks, however, the soft tone of his voice, leading vibrance to the language utterly foreign to you, conveys a gentle bearing that the sinister-looking visage can never hope to relate. When you apparently realize you can't understand what he's saying, he repeats himself in your tongue. "What are you doing here?" he asks. "You shouldn't be here. They'll kill you when they find you." "Who?" Man that the catamaran who introduced himself as Thal-Breyek is a mage who hails from another world, around buried deep in the shadowy recesses of the Navidus. He tells you that he was recently captured by a rival mage, a Tazarl named Ganak, and that he was brought here to your world and to the ruins of this ancient tower. Ganak is an old foe. He seeks to obtain an item of great power that is long ago hidden in this place, he says, and he has forced me to use my powers to that end. This tower is what left of it. It's on several identical spires that exist across a myriad of worlds and realms. You're standing in what remains of Thal-Breyek, as such is the name by which we know it. Responding to Thal-Breyek's inquiry, you introduce yourself and then ask him about the objects of Ganak is seeking. "It's a book," he says, "and his acquisition of it would have serious consequences here. While on my world the result would be catastrophic. Ganak is a power hungry, vicious, and hateful. In the realm from which I hail, you're running out of strength required to fight him in his reptilian horde. The book he is after conceals an ancient magic where Ganak seemed to wield against his enemies. His acquisition of it will, with all certainty, prove our undoing. Having at last discovered the reason that the Tazar are prowling the island, you inquire about the unbroken line of iron bars separating Thal-Breyek's cell from the passage. He tells you the barrier is magic and was created by Ganak. His magic is powerful, he says, and I cannot hope to dispel it. Only by his will or his death can it be undone. Learn that Thal-Breyek was captured while defending a pivotal stronghold in his home world against a raid led by the minions of Ganak. For nearly a week he had been a prisoner of the Tazarilian mage, forced to utilize his mastery of the ancient law to assist Ganak in locating these ruins, deciphering their ancient clues and revealing their long-hidden passage, long-hidden secret. "I'm not afraid to admit that I'm broken," he says. "I won't pretend to be any sort of hero. There's nothing heroic about what I've done. I did what I needed to do to ensure the safety of those dear to me, though I Already fear the worst may have befallen him, even before I struck so abhorrent a bargain. What is there I can do now? Grogganach will soon possess the book, and the worst will be upon us, and I will have played no small part in birthing the resulting calamity. Those dearest to me, and those I will never know, will suffer because of what I endeavoured to do to protect them. It was a bargain I should never have made, and the one that will make 1,000 times more. Clearly distressed, the catamaran, breathing rapidly, closes his eyes and begins to shake. As quick as the unsettling spasms begin, however, they suddenly cease. He opens his eyes and fixes you with an intense gaze. My own nightmare is likely to soon be over, though it brings me no relief to consider it, he says, his soft, gentle tone an abrupt departure from the frantic voice that echoed through the corridors only a moment ago. Grogganach will find the book for which he is searching, for this is Thal-Breyek, the undiscovered stronghold of Breyek, the last great steward of the first strand. Breyek's tomb is here, and when it is found, Grogganach will have no further use of me. I don't fear whatever waits me at his hands, and what it is I will leave behind, back home, unprotected. You ask Thal-Breyek if it's too late to try and stop Grogganach from obtaining the book. The catamaran seems surprised by your bold inquiry. He seems to give your question considerable thought before shrugging. I cannot say with any certainty, he says. Had he already found the book, he would certainly return to finish me. I am something he cannot afford to leave behind, however helpless I might find myself here. If it's not yet too late, and you wish to try to stop him, you must do so at once. Though going after him may prove somewhat difficult. Thal-Breyek tells you that Grogganach recently succeeded in unlocking the deepest level of Thal-Breyek. He and a group of deadliest minions swiftly descended to the lowest reaches of the stronghold to continue the search for the book. Suddenly, the catamaran mage, who seemed to have gained at least a small portion of his strength, stares wide-eyed at the square copper medallion in possession. He probably asked how you acquired the piece. Grogganach has one like it, he says, as you step close, allowing him a better look at the medallion. It is the very object he used to unlock the lowest level. Scathmiel, one of the mages in his company, also had one. They found them here in the fortress. I'm left to assume that Strathmel has at last had justice meted to him. We described for Thal-Breyek the road to Zara you slew to acquire the medallion in ours. That Scathmiel is dead. If circumstances were a bit different, this would have been cause for acceleration. I can think of very few of the reptilians Grogganach excluded more deserving of death, and perhaps more important than that, you have what you need to follow him. Thal-Breyek tells you that Grogganach somehow used the medallion in conjunction with the set of 7 stone dials to unlock the lowest level of Thal-Breyek. You learn that the Zara mage again called upon the catamaran's mystery of law and arcana to solve the riddle poised by the dials. Listen carefully, he says in a voice way, as his breathing becomes ragged. I do not know where you will find the dials, but they are somewhere below us. Here's how you must set it. From left to right. Moon, dragon, shield, moon, star, sword, moon, star. Sweet. Thal-Breyek takes an unsteady step backwards and nearly collapses, steadying himself by placing his hand on the wall. The catamaran mage urges you to hurry if you seek to prevent Grogganach from acquiring the book. There's a lever somewhere at the end of this passage north of here, he says, slumping into a seated position against the back wall of the cell. I've heard they make mention of it. I believe that pulling it will reveal stairs that will descend even deeper into these halls. Somewhere down below you will find these dials. Remember the sequence I have given you. Using what remains of his fading voice, the catamaran issues you a stark warning. If you go after Grogganach, you must be prepared to kill him. He will give you no quarter and expects none from his enemies. A moment's hesitation on your part is all he will ever need. As you value your life, believe nothing of what he says. You ask Thal-Breyek how you recognize Grogganach. Yes, of course, he says, his voice growing weaker. He wields a large axe, a terrible weapon. Its fire has claimed the lives of many of my kin. Believe me, though, Alison, you will not mistake him when you have the misfortune of encountering him. Thal-Breyek falls silent and his eyes close. His chest continues to rise and falls, but you sense that the catamaran has slipped into a semi-conscious state. Makes several attempts to rouse him, but he only grunts in response. With your thought now bent on finding the Zara mage known as Grogganach and preventing him from acquiring the book, he come to Thal-Breyek seeking, you offer a silent prayer for the Catamaran's safety before turning and setting off along the corridor. To the north. Okay. This way then. Pull the lever. You take hold of a stone lever and pull it. When the lever is as far down as it will go, you release it and watch as it slowly returns to its original position. Suddenly, a low rumble, originating from somewhere to the west, echoes along the passage. Where are the stairs? Oh, is this it? Yeah. Yay. Alright, what's going on here? Square impression is set. You press the copper medallion into the square impression for several moments, nothing seems to happen, and suddenly a distant muffled clatter reaches your ears. Uncertain about what just occurred, you move the medallion, step back from the iron plate. Oh, it's the dials. It'll be Automatica, as he says, but I did copy it in case it's not. The dials have been turned to display a number of different engraved images. You set the images about seen from left to right. Yes, moon, dragon. Shield. Sword, moon, star. Sword. Moon. Star. Suddenly, a loud screech followed by a series of shattering groans fill the corridor as a towering iron door slowly swings over, revealing a black, spinning core of a portal. A portal. Oh no. Alright, step into it. You barely step into the portal and instantly find yourself once again standing in a dimly lit stone passage, nearly identical to the one you just left. You look behind yourself and are surprised and somewhat dismayed to discover that there's no sign of the gate through which you stepped only moments ago. The bloody mangled corpses of several Tazaro lie sprawled out before the alcove sets to the southern wall of the passage. The statue of an armored warrior in its chain-clad hands, gripping the hilt of a large sword, fills the alcove. A small, diamond-shaped piece of copper, glowing faint, is set in the statue's neck. Suddenly, the sound of splittering stone fills the corridor as the statue steps out of the hollow and moves into the center of the passage. With its lifeless gaze seemingly fixed on you, the stone lets it to move past it. You nearly dodge a trio of statue's deadly swipes, but ultimately forced to drop back beyond the range of its attack, realizing it's too dangerous to attempt to move past the statue's swift retreat. Of course. After covering nearly a dozen yards along the corridor, you turn and glance back at the statue. In the dim light of the passage, you see the stone-wielding figure of Sryth steps back in the alcove and the wall from where it emerged. We can't go that way. Taking only a few steps away from the junction of the passage, you suddenly find yourself confronted with three scimitar-wielding Tazaro. Elite. Cool. Keep your scimitars. Go on north. Alright, there's another statue. So we can't go either of those ways. You move along the corridor, comes to a abrupt halt as a crackling field of golden energy suddenly appears, spanning the entirety of the passage. Unwilling to risk getting any closer to the energy barrier, you turn and head back east. Okay, there's an energy barrier that way. Can't go anywhere. Well, appears that we're stuck. Can we just fight? Oh, being in. Oh no. Yeah, about that. No. Feels like I'm not even hitting him anymore. I roll 18 plus every time. Interesting. Killed them. Sit back from the heap of rubble at your feet and wipe away the sweat streaming down your brow. After taking a few moments to check over your equipment while you recover from the brutal fight, you once again set off a path along the passage. What's over here? Nimbly dodged the trio. Is there another? Statue behind him. Doesn't make any sense. Alright, we're stuck. So, I'm going to end the episode there. We do a little research and come back tomorrow to work on this some more. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out and joining me. Until next time, you know what I'm going to say. Peace.